Well, y'all, I got denied. In fact, I got double denied for the same card, which was the Citi AAdvantage Executive card. It has a huge offer of 100,000 miles after you meet the spend requirement. That's apparently going away very, very soon here. So for me, I'm gonna miss the train entirely for that offer. In fact, here's the denial letter that I got, and we'll be going over it together in today's video. Now, first things first, I saw this data point on Reddit from a couple years ago about this person getting approved for the Citi Premier card back when it had the 80K offer by freezing their Experian credit report, and instead Citi decided to pull their Equifax report. And seeing that, I definitely had to give it a try myself for my Citi application, again for the AAdvantage Executive card, because I have so many more inquiries on Experian than all of my other reports. So I froze Experian, decided to apply for the card, and this is the first message that I got. Action needed. We can't access your credit report. Unfortunately, we cannot process your application at this time because you have an active lock or freeze on your Experian credit report / bureau. Citi then gave me a couple options down below, essentially giving me the opportunity to lift that freeze while the application was still pending. You can even see the little countdown timer there in the top right. I had 13 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. So I removed the freeze, then I proceeded with the rest of the application. And here's a little snippet from what was going to be a Watch Me Apply video. Let's go ahead and submit this fully on another count of 3, 2, 1, and let's go. And I think it's going. Yes, it is. I can see a spiral there at the very top of the screen. You may not be able to see it. It's on my open tab way up there. Not the answer I was looking for, but probably not too much of a surprise either. Unfortunately, we're not able to approve your application, so instant denial. Yes, the nasty stench of an instant denial. Gotta love it. So at this point, of course, my question is, why was I denied? Give me the reasons, that way I know what I'm going into if I decide to call reconsideration, or at least next time I apply for another card, I know what I may be able to improve. So I decided to call first Citi's automation system for application status, and here's what I learned from that experience.
Thank you for applying for the Citi AAdvantage Executive card. Your application has been processed. Unfortunately, at this time, we are unable to approve your request. The primary reasons for the decline are: there's a lack of recent installment loan information on your credit report. Your credit report shows too many recently opened accounts. Your credit report shows your balances are too low in relation to your credit line. The credit bureau agency used when evaluating your application was Experian. A letter was sent to you with additional information. Thank you for your interest in Citi.
So recapping the reasons for the denial over the phone, this is what I was told. I had a lack of recent installment loan information, my credit report shows too many recently opened accounts, and my credit report shows my balances are too low in relation to my credit lines. We'll dig a bit deeper on that in just a moment here, but first I still wanted to call the reconsideration line directly, speak with a live person, and see if they had any sort of authority to overturn the decision from a no into a yes. And here's how the first reconsideration call went. That's right, there were two. Citi reconsideration line, and see if this can help with something else. Yeah, that is a different number. 800-695-5171.
I can see that the application was declined. However, what has to happen is you have to receive the letter in the mail, U.S. mail, first. And then it will give you all the information on why it was declined. And at that time, there is a telephone number on that letter to call if you have any further questions or concerns.
So for the time being, I had to wait to receive the letter of my denial with all the reasons detailed on it. I thought that was going to be a 7 to 10 day wait period because, you know, snail mail tends to take that long. But fortunately, that letter that I showed you in the intro here came pretty quickly. And that's because Citi gave me the courtesy of sending that via email as an attached PDF. So that was actually awesome. I got that letter about 24 hours later, so just the next day. And now that I have these reasons in my hand, let me put those up on the screen for you. We used a credit scoring system in our review, which assigns a numerical value to different items on your credit report. The resulting score wasn't high enough to approve this account. That to me sounds like some sort of internal proprietary scoring system that takes into account your credit score and other factors that Citi cares most about or gives the most weight to. Otherwise, they would have just said credit score. And my score itself was actually, I think, pretty darn good, which I'll show you on page 2 of this. But first, let's move on to the actual reasons for the denial outlined with these 3 bullet points. The first 2 will sound very familiar. There is a lack of recent installment loan information on your credit report. Your credit report shows too many recently opened accounts. But check this out. Your credit report shows your balances on one or more of your accounts are too high in relation to credit limits. But what did we learn over on those phone call reasons? My balances were apparently too low in relation to my overall credit lines, which is the exact opposite of what the letter said. So which one's right? I have no idea. Could it be both? Maybe so if Citi is looking at different individual accounts. Maybe I had some high balances, maybe I had way too many low balances, in other words, too much credit. So who really knows? All I can say is that the reason for having low balances did not appear on my official letter. All right, real quick here, if you're like me and have multiple cards that you use as a broader strategy, and as you're seeing in this video, if you also have the desire to add more cards to your collection, then a great way to help you stay on top of all those cards and manage them in one place is by using today's sponsor called MAXREWARDS. I've been a user for quite a while now, still use it to this day and still love it. Check them out. MAXREWARDS is an app that allows you to manage your credit cards, rewards, and benefits all in one place. This includes seeing when your bills are due, tracking your sign-up bonuses, monitoring your credit scores, and more. On the Activity tab, you can view the transactions across all your cards to easily see where you've been spending your money, including the value of the rewards you've earned across different categories. Then the Best Card tab helps you identify which card to use for different purchases. That way you can earn points or cash back even faster. And perhaps my favorite feature is the Benefits and Offers dashboard, which you can unlock with the gold level of MAXREWARDS. You might be familiar with Chase offers, Amex offers, Bank AmeriDeals, and others. These are like digital coupons that provide you with additional savings and discounts on top of the regular rewards you earn. Each time you sync the app, all of your offers will be activated automatically, including the hidden ones from Amex that you didn't even know about. In fact, my Amex Gold card showed 162 offers that were ready to go thanks to MAXREWARDS. So if you'd like to try MAXREWARDS, use the link down below in the description to get the gold level entirely free for your first month. And now back to my double denial, with some helpful tips at the end. So I called the reconsideration line again, and unfortunately I don't have the video of that to include here with you, but it was a pretty brief conversation. I'll just tell you what happened. I was instantly denied again with absolutely zero recourse for having overturned. The rep that I spoke with actually had no authority to make any further decision because it was absolutely finalized in their system, and that was the end of that story. And that's all I gotta say about that. But I do have some more information for all of you, including going further into the reasons for these denials, so that way you won't have to go through the same mistake that I made, and it was a pretty big mistake that completely went over my head. I'll also share with you what my credit scores were, the number of inquiries I had, and all those details, because as we know, Citi is likely going to be releasing another ultra premium credit card that's probably going to fill the shoes of the old Citi Prestige, now with the new name of the Strata Elite, perhaps. A lot of rumors have been floating around about that, but according to this Doctor of Credit article, it's apparently getting close or on the verge of being released, probably before the end of this year, 2023. So if people want to, have a chance at getting approved for it, hopefully some of these tips here you'll be able to apply to get yourself primed and ready for that application. Now going a level deeper on these denial reasons. The first one was a lack of recent installment loan information on my credit report. Again, I apologize for not having my second recall video in this video, but again, recapping what the representative told me directly, I asked, is that a really important factor to have an installment loan on your report to get approved for a Citi credit card? And fortunately, he said no. He said it may help with your approval, but it's not required. An installment loan, in case you're new to that term, is basically like, think of it like a car loan, where you have a certain amount of debt, for instance, 15 or 20 grand, and every month you make a payment to bring that overall debt level that you owe down. Basically, installment loans are a great longer term demonstration of your behavior to consistently make payments on time, ideally in full, month over month. So seeing that kind of as an indicator to the banks that you are going to be a good borrower that won't cause unnecessary problems for the bank like defaulting. Now, reason number 2 is my credit report showed too many recently opened accounts. I'll go through those details of my report in just a moment here, but I can agree with Citi on that. I do have a lot of opened accounts right now. Nothing I can do about that other than just wait, let time go by to let my accounts age, for inquiries to fall off, etc. And lastly, that totally silly dual reason of my balances either being too high or maybe they were too low, or perhaps both. Thinking back to what this means, I asked the representative about this too. I did not recall any balances being very high on any of my cards at that moment in time of applying. However, remember, for the most part, utilization per credit card account that you have is usually only calculated one time per month. That's when oftentimes your billing cycle ends with most issuers, and whatever balance you have on the card when your billing cycle comes to a close, that balance gets reported to the bureaus, and then that is what goes into calculating your utilization, your overall credit score, and all those types of things. So even though I went into the application without any sort of big balances in mind, I do kind of recall 1 or 2 accounts probably over 30% utilized, but still under 40 on, again, 1 or 2 cards, and that was reported 3 or 4 weeks ago. So per my credit bureau report from Experian, which is what Citi pulled, they probably still saw the older utilization figures, and my new payment had not been reflected on the bureau end. So I kind of hurt myself, shot myself in the foot by having those old balances still showing on my credit report. I should have allowed at least a full month to go by for my newer, lower balances to fully reflect on my report before applying for this card. Furthermore, it's been anecdotally proven, or at least held as true, that Citi likes to see you using your existing cards with them in order to get approved for a new card. I won't say it's a hard rule, but again, anecdotally, based on people's experiences, it comes up more often than not. That's probably why, going back to that data point here on Reddit, this person was really going for a 23% utilization before going for their Citi Premier card. Is 23% utilization some sort of magic number held in the minds of Citi's algorithm? Maybe, maybe not. I have no internal data to suggest that, but obviously it worked for that person having more than 0% and less than a high utilization. So perhaps that's a good sweet spot of 10 to 20% or so. Looking now to my application summary, my credit scores before applying, at least on my end, were 760 with Experian, TransUnion at 790, and Equifax at 804. Looking at the second page of my denial letter from Citi, they actually had me at a 778 score, so actually 18 points higher than I had through the Experian app. Perhaps there was a difference in the refreshing of my report. Maybe they had different FICO models, like 8 versus 9, who knows, but it was basically a high 700 score. For the inquiries, I had 14 on Experian, 5 on TransUnion, and 2 on Equifax. For new accounts, I had 5 in the past 6 months showing on my reports, 10 in the past 12 months, and 13 in the past 24. My average age of accounts was 4 years, and I did have an existing relationship with Citi, a checking and savings account on the personal side, 7 personal cards, 1 business card, and the last time I got approved for a Citi credit card product was back in August 24th, 2022, so roughly a full year ago. After submitting the application, there was almost no change anywhere except to the inquiries that went up by 1 on Experian, but my score didn't show any notable change. Perhaps that's because I had other changes to my score, like balances being paid off. Also, another inquiry fell off during roughly the same time, so it probably kind of negated everything out. That said, I'm definitely concerned about Citi launching a potential Strata Elite card that I want to get my hands on within the next 1 to 2 months here, and perhaps being in the same situation I am now. too many inquiries, too many accounts, balances in the wrong ratios or whatever, and being denied for that too. So my goal right now, and hopefully helpful to all of you, if you want the new rumored Citi Strata Elite or any other Citi card in their portfolio, here's what I personally would be doing right now. Number one, start gardening your credit report for a little bit. By gardening, I mean letting the weeds or all the nasty stuff on your report start to fall off. So no new accounts, no new inquiries, nothing like that. Leave it as it is. Ideally for maybe 6 months, that's what I would do, and have a clean report for those previous 6 months that we are not showing Citi that I've been actively getting tons of credit like super recently. Number two, if you have any medium to large balances showing on your credit report, make sure that those are now going to reflect a lower balance before going for a new Citi card. And number three, if you have any existing credit cards with Citi, I'd start using those for a little bit, maybe like the month prior to your application, and showing some use of those. With all that said, if you enjoyed today's video and believe it could benefit other people, then please help me get it in front of them by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on those notifications. Also, check out the links down below in the description area to earn some more cash back when you shop online through Rakuten, to sign up for MAXREWARDS, which is a great app to manage multiple credit cards, rewards, and benefits all in one place, and to view my site with some great credit card offers that I've organized into different categories to help you find the cards that you like best. I thank you all for watching today's video. Hope it brought you some great value. I look forward to seeing you in the next one, and while you're waiting for it, always remember that you are great.